All right, it's 5:15, and I'll open the meeting for the second public budget hearing. Did you want to lead, or did you want me to lead, Zach?
I mean, up to you. I'm happy to do it. Our agenda is pretty straightforward unless anything's been added. We just have, we have the review of the second budget hearing, and then followed by the reading of the warrant articles. So if there's been no additions, then, I'll kick things off by opening the public hearing.
And are you going to read the warrant articles, or are you just going to say the board has recommended all of the warrant articles on the 2025 warrant as presented this evening?
I think we should do a quick step through them. I don't know as we need to read them each verbatim, but I think we should step through them just in case there's any questions from the board. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's your choice.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the budget. I don't know what we have in terms of audience in person. I see we have a few people online, but let's take any questions that we might have in regards to the budget specifically. If you do have questions, please approach the microphone, introduce yourself, and then speak your question.
There is nobody coming forth, Zach.
Anybody online?
Yeah. Anybody online?
Amy was there.
Oh, no, people are there, but they're not asking.
There's no hands showing, Zach. No.
All right, perfect. Assuming I can, I was thinking, let me just quickly, as it's probably best, I'll just share my screen on the, where did that go? So I'm going to share my screen to show the warrant articles, but I can't. My Zoom's being weird.
They all have copies as well. Here, Zach.
Oh, everybody in person has copies?
Everybody has them, yep.
Okay. Well, then let's not do that then. All right. So we'll go through the warrant. The first warrant article is going to be for election of officers. This matches the list that we've been reading into the record the last few weeks. Moderator for a 2-year term, town clerk for a 3-year term, tax collector for a 3-year term, supervisor of the checklist for a 6-year term, 2 trustee of the trust fund positions. 1 is a 3 and 1's a 2-year term, library trustee, cemetery trustee, and for some reason I skipped the first one, which was the 2 select board members. So those are the ones we'll all be voting on election day. Any questions from anyone about Article 1?
No one's making a movement.
Perfect. So Article 2, I'm not going to read this whole article, but this is a petitioned warrant article about a zoning amendment in regards to the agricultural zone. It's as all zoning amendments go, it's complicated. So read it, ask about it, review some meetings and those sorts of things. But this is an article again about modifying the agricultural zone and what's permitted or not permitted. Any questions about Article 2?
I see no movement.
Note, the Plymouth Planning Board does recommend the passing of that warrant article, even though it is a petitioned article from the community. All right, moving on to Article 3. Actually, I'm just going to say 3 through 6 are all zoning amendments coming from the Planning Board, so these are official. And I'm just going to handle these tonight as a group. So there's Amendment 1 is the industrial commercial district boundaries. The second one is a modification to a couple of sections in zoning around commercial storage facilities. There's another one in regards to parking requirements. And then the last one in that list is around language, permitted use of language on some things that are moving permissive language around things that are available for special exception or enumerated permitted uses. So those 4 articles. Again, those come from the planning board. I note it doesn't say that they're recommended by the planning board, but I guess that's implied here.
It does say as proposed by the planning board in each of those articles between 3 and 6.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That first sentence says as proposed. Okay. Yep. That sounds totally fair. Any questions from the audience in relation to Articles 3 through 6, which are zoning amendments 1 through 4?
I'm seeing no movement.
All right. Next up, we have a petitioned warrant article, which is Article 7. And this is a change to take the planning board from being a board that's appointed by the select board to an elected board like many of the other boards in town. So again, a petitioned article, no notes here around recommendation either from the planning board or the select board on this article. Any questions from the audience on that one?
None.
Okay. Article 8, this is a big one. It's really the kind of the summarized budget article it's kind of the overall general budget for the town. Breaks it down into a lot of categories. There's a lot of detail here for you to understand. If you've been following along with the budget process, there's no surprises here. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Overall, this is to vote to raise and appropriate $9.9 million in funds for the town. And yeah, any questions about that article?
I'm seeing none.
All right, Articles 9 and 10 are related to the police, so police parking, police school resource officer. Again, these are called out for, in the case of parking, because of the special revenue fund, and in the case of the school resource officer, because of the offset with SAU 48 school system. So these aren't in the general budget, they're here because the funding's a little bit more complicated. It's not just raised and appropriated through taxes. Any questions about the two police articles 9 and 10? Police articles 9 and 10.
I am seeing no movement.
Okay, on to Article 11, which is about the Highway Department. And actually, I'm going to cover a couple of them here. Highway Department, again, there's a withdrawal of some funds from the Municipal Transportation Enhancement Capital Reserve Fund. So that one's called out specifically. We have one for the municipal airport, which similarly is pulling some funds from the Special Revenue Fund. Oh yeah, so any questions on Articles 11 or 12?
I see no movement.
Article 13 is about a new full-time fire EMS position in town. This is the third of a 3-year project to increase the number of firefighters on staff. So this is one additional firefighter, and it's a new position. So we always, as a board, try to pull out new hiring positions into their own warrant articles so that when we're expanding our head count, so that the town has a chance to vote on these things. Any questions about the new firefighter?
I see nothing.
Okay, Articles 14 through 17 have to do with union negotiations. So 14 is about the police union, new 3-year contract and the estimated increases from that. Article 15 is just a special article in case 14 is defeated, and then gives us an opportunity for a special town meeting. 16 is for the fire department union. This is only a 1-year negotiation. The fire department and the police department are splitting. They're no longer negotiating together in one union. They're in separate unions. And so the firefighters are going to be on an off schedule. And so this is only a 1 year for the fire department. And then similar to Article 15, there's Article 17 authorizing a special town meeting in case Article 16 is defeated. Any questions about Articles 14 through 17?
I am seeing no questions.
Okay, so Articles 18 and 19 are some road construction articles. 18 is about Emerson Street, 19 is about Highland Street, and any questions about those two?
I see nothing.
And let's get into capital projects. So I'm going to name a couple articles here. So Article 20 is our kind of breakdown of the various capital projects from the capital improvement planning process. There's a bunch of stuff here. Please review this list, become familiar with it. Article 21 is for a fire engine lease. Article 22 is for a fire tanker lease. Article 23 is for an ambulance lease. Article 24 is for a highway dump truck lease. Article 25 is for a fire department vehicle. 26 for a police cruiser. Those are a big, actually, no, there's a couple more. Article 27 is for a police repeater on Hemp Hill. Article 28 is for police tasers equipment lease, which we've been doing for many years. Article 29 is for glass removal at the recycling center. Article 30, oh, actually, I'm going to stop there. So Articles 20 through 29. Any questions on those articles?
I see no questions.
All right, that takes us to Article 30, which is for a building needs assessment for fire and police around a potential emergency management building for the future in this town. Article 31 is for the Conservation Commission to do a natural resource inventory. And then Article 32 is a series of capital reserve deposits into a few different funds. Any questions about Articles 30 through 32?
We have a question. Please just approach the mic.
Hello, thank you. Greg Nettner from the Plymouth Conservation Commission. I'm a treasurer, also 39 Claybrook Drive. I think I'm supposed to say that. In reading this warrant article 31 for the natural resource inventory, which I do obviously support, an NRI is kind of a baseline foundational document for any conservation commission. But I am curious about the amounts stipulated in the warrant article, because they differ from the ones we discussed and the wording that was promoted to us that we reviewed and authorized as a commission.
I believe that after we had spoken to you, it came back that the project was actually a two-phase project. So what this project is approving for this year is just the initial
NRI amount?
NRI, yes. And
For
then,
the 14,000.
And then the
14,000.
additional amount would be on a subsequent warrant article if we were to do that?
our understanding from Joan is that that money for the additional expense would actually come from the Conservation Commission's
It
fund.
would. Would
We
that
don't
not
need a
have to go
warrant.
through warrant?
No.
Okay.
It's because of how we're paying for this is the reason that it's coming from and has to be on the warrant.
All right. Thank you for the clarification. Then we're good with that.
And the key to that is there is no impact on the tax rate for the NRI.
Right. These are monies that had already been allocated.
Right.
Correct. Yep.
That was a great question. Thank you. Any other questions about this set of articles? All right, Article 33 is an article about nonprofit and health agencies and the funds that the town is going to commit to those nonprofits. Any questions about Article 33?
I don't see anything.
I have a question, Zach.
Yes.
So I'm putting my, not my town clerk hat on. I'm putting my citizens clerk hat on and a PYC board member hat on. I just want to say that I'm disappointed that we're getting our funding cut, especially with the potential, bill that Bill Bolton introduced. We rely strictly on fundraising, and I just think it's important to fund youth at PYC. That's all I have to say about that.
Just for clarification, when you say PYC, for anybody who's watching, that's in relation to the PEMI Youth Center.
Sorry.
Any commentary from the board on that topic?
As I recall, we had a committee that went through all of the the nonprofits and tried to right-size the allocations. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. So yeah, these recommendations are directly from the nonprofit budget committee that we took their recommendations. Any further comments?
I'm seeing no one standing, so.
Okay, I'll move on to Article 34, which is the Cannon Repair and Renovate Capital Reserve Fund. This is a new fund to establish some opportunities to get the cannon repaired that's in front of Town Hall. My only comment on this one is, does cannon really have two ends? Is that right?
I think that's wrong.
Is it one end?
I think so.
Yeah, because cannon.
The
with two
mountain
ends
might
mean-
have two ends.
Because cannon with two ends, it does. One of them has a different meaning.
Ah,
Yeah. Let's confirm the spelling on cannon. But other than that, any comments or questions from the public?
Yeah, you got the public saying there should be two ends.
All right.
Yep, okay, I confirmed it.
CANON is law.
Google, yeah.
ah,
Yeah,
very
I was
good.
I was
Ah,
trying to
gotcha.
remember and had doubts there for a second.
All right, sounds good. Any other questions about cannons?
I am not seeing any in the room.
All right, so the last and least interesting article is the other business article, which just allows an opportunity for the community to raise any additional legal business during the meeting. And I expect no questions on that one. Any other questions that anybody realized in any of the articles, 1 through 35, anything related to the warrant, any questions about process, town meeting, any of those areas? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Any other questions, comments, or agenda items from the board?
Could I just have the board make a motion to accept the warrant as presented with the recommendations as they are written on the warrant, which is basically just a recap to make sure that all your recommendations are there, please?
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the warrant as written with the noted amendments that were discussed today.
Second.
Noted recommendations, right? Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Got a motion, a second?
Oh, I didn't hear the second, sorry. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the warrant is set.
Okay,
All right. So I just have signatures that need to be made, but you guys can do that after.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned.